part of what God is doing no matter what. And when he calls, they answer. They are able to see, if you will, the big picture of God. And when God calls, they respond because they know that if God is calling them, God must really be up to something. They're not like people who, when they have a call and they attempt to answer the call, they ask God first, what's in it for me? There are so many people who follow God not because of his goodness, but because of the goodies. And whenever they take 3 steps for God, they want to know how many steps God is going to take for them. They never consider that they are because God is. And God has been watching over them no matter what. And so our first concern when we answer the call of God is not what God can do for us, but what it is that we can do for God. How can I best serve you, God? How can I express my love to you? That's what I want. When the call went forth to the 3 would-be disciples, it was the one who said, I will follow you wherever you go. And we pause to examine that again because Jesus says something very interesting to him. He says, foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. What he was really saying to him, when you're following me, I know that you're looking for permanency. You're looking for your reservations to be made in advance. You're looking for a ready-made address. You're looking for security. You're looking for settlement. But on this journey with me, there are no guarantees. There'll be some days when we won't know which way is up. But you will have my presence. And when I am for you, I'm more than the whole world is against you. And so he does not necessarily call us to make us comfortable, but his call is a call of favor. It means that God, in some kind of way that escapes us, has seen something in us that we perhaps have not seen in ourselves, and that God is willing to put God's self on a limb to trust both you and I with his work and with his will in the shrewdest of circumstances. And brothers and sisters, in verse 52, I like how this is stated in verse 52, that he has brought down rulers from their throne, but has lifted up the humble. That for persons who are high and mighty and can't pause long enough to hear what God is saying, he will bring down those who are high and mighty and lift up those who are low. And yes, that seems to be the way in which God works. These 2 women who are so powerless in the eyes of the world, they come to embrace each other, they sing, they rejoice in God's willingness to use them, and listen to this, and remake the world. That it's interesting to me that where Mary could not find community in no other place, she finds community with a relative who is also going through something similar. That whatever our plight in life, you and I can rest assured that if God has called you and the place that he has called you to serve, you will never be alone. That God will create another scenario that is so similar to yours, and then make a way for persons who are going through the same thing to somehow meet and embrace and sing and see the bigger picture of what God is doing. I love him today. And I might pause to say that I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg bread. That is, that God will never leave you without, and that God always can use the unusables. Mary is an unusable because she's a woman and she's powerless and now scandalous. Elizabeth is past childbearing years, one old, one young, but they find community in the unexpected favor of God. And did I tell you that favor is not fair? So many times people think and they blurt out, I'm blessed and highly favored. And I doubt very seriously if they really know what they're talking about, because when we say we are favored by God, what we're saying is God has carved out a situation in the world that is unpopular to most and given you that assignment to glorify him in that place where he is not popular. That's what favor is. Favor is scandalous. Favor is having people to look at you as if you don't belong. In fact, favor is not being invited to the Christmas party. Favor is having people know your name but refuse to call it and walk past you as if they don't see you. That's what favor is. Favor is not being the most popular in the room. That's not favor. You can rest assured when God calls you out, God has an assignment for you to do that will not be popular at all. And listen, Elizabeth and Mary, Elizabeth and Mary, God is birthing something in them that's going to remake the world. Mary will give birth to a Jesus, and Elizabeth will give birth to a John. John, a trailblazer, will carve out the way for a Jesus who is not just a trailblazer, but he's a heart fixer and a mind regulator, soul stirrer, and a reviver. And who would have ever thought, looking at these two women, that in them was this potential of changing the world? You see, when God calls you, he really impregnates you with something that is going to affect and change situations and circumstances around you. In fact, in the room right now, we are pregnant with possibility. If there is a struggle in you today, if there is some resistance, I beg you today, please give in and let God have his way with you, because God wants to use your life and what he wants to birth in you to really change St. Louis. Yes, change St. Louis, but he doesn't want to stop there. He wants to change this region. Yes, not just this region. He wants to change this world, and he wants to use you to do so. I want to ask you this. Are you willing